non mollava mai, quello che doveva fare stare sempre su il morale, ma io mi ci trovavo bene perché sono sempre stato uno che mi piaceva dare fuoco ai miei compagni, caricarli prima delle partite.
Il mio sogno di essere avverato è uno dei sogni dei bambini, di tanti bambini.
Gol è un qualcosa per la gente che riusciamo a fare diventare matti, riusciamo a fare diventare felici e contenti.
Con questa maglia devo veramente fare una performance diversa perché sto rappresentando uno dei club più grandi al mondo.
Hi everyone, and we're back after a while, but guess who's back? Shane is in the house.
Yeah, man, it's been a while. I've forgotten how the studio works, and it's only been like 3 months.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about this club is that when you know there's a dumpster fire in the way, you're trying to walk around it, right? You don't want to walk too close to the dumpster fire, and really that's really matching our consistency in terms of the pods. But still, we're back, and we would like to thank everyone who's been with us, especially in the chat. Big plug for the chat as well, is that if you do want to join, just drop us a DM and we'll add you so we can share our sorrows together. But before that, how you been, Shane? Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, man, so it's been fucking great, to be honest, the last 3 months, because I literally checked out on the club mid-February. Because without going into too much, a couple of personal things happened, and I just had to take a bit of time out. But then what I realized that as I was taking time out, and I kept I was consistent in chatting with the guys in the chat and chatting with you guys and all of that, right? But what I realized is that I wasn't watching the games and I didn't give a shit, because at the end of the day, right, there was literally no point to, because I knew we weren't going to go anywhere. So
yeah,
I feel like I've missed nothing, only I've experienced far less stress.
It's come to the point in the club that you can't imagine how low that we've sunk to, and for me on my end, and I was even moments where I was really buzzing through our earliest pods, and you're trying to gauge our optimism or our sense of attachment to this club when we started. It's very, very different. How we go about things. I guess for me personally, my public speaking, I think, has improved quite a bit. But also is that how we also, how can I put it? How we express our generally our attachment to this club. And the way that we spoke about it before is that we're really into the details, we're really into every single attached or related piece of news. It would become a talking point, but now it's more about sentiment, because I think a lot of people will agree with us that as bad as it's that bad that we don't really care about what's going on anymore. It's really about the emotions that's surrounding the clubs and what really happened towards the end. But one thing that I do want to tell everyone, and thanks for you just dropped a message to us, is that if you do want to join us, I've put in the link into the chat for those who are on YouTube. Feel free to join us anytime. We're actually making this open. And I think that also taking this opportunity to thank Lab Gorilla for all the participation previous pods. He's going through some personal stuff and won't be joining us today. But yeah, in his honor and his temporary memory while he's out, is that do join us, share your views, and let's talk. Yeah, I think the reason why we started this channel was that we really wanted to connect fans, and we really wanted to feel that fans around the world were alone. I guess especially in this time, in your depression of this club and how bad things are. But this is the time to vent, this is the time to discuss, and time to release. And just click on the link and we'll add you in.
Shout out to Fahadinho, actually, because I just want to give him a quick shout out, because he's like super active on X. But he had a tweet, which was a good one. It was essentially it was a retweet, but he was just going over the fact that Milan without executives, the FIGC reminder arrives, by June 16th, my birthday. Nice. The documentation must be submitted to register for next season's Serie A. And you know what I found hilarious about that, man? Right? It's the fact that the Cardinale didn't know about this.
Maybe he does, but he thinks that, as all things in FIGC, is a matter of money, right?
I don't think so. I literally, as soon as I seen that, right? I was literally just, this isn't a situation where, okay, Cardinale is just not aware of the ins and outs of having a club in Italy. This just kind of goes to show. So yeah, it's kind of interesting times ahead. You know, the really shit part for me though has been, so I supported this club since I was like very young, and now over the last couple of months, it's just been the first time where I've just had to go without it. I've had to kind of discover things in my personal life that are just other methods of fun that are not to do with the club, and that's a real shame. Because it's kind of I'm coming at it from the point of view where there's no point in spending time, energy, or emotions on something that you don't deem worthy of giving your time or emotions to, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's kind of that situation where it's like, let's say you're in a relationship with someone, right? And it's like, you wouldn't choose someone that was substandard to go into a relationship with. And it's kind of like, I'm not going to choose a substandard club to actively follow or support anymore. And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm done.
Yeah, you're right. I think by checking the data, majority of our listeners are men. It's also very insightful to show that we're men in our 30s mostly. Yeah, that's what the data shows.
Yeah, I'll be 40.
We have our own.
I'll be 40 on June 16th, dude. Imagine that.
Yeah, and I'll join you at the end of the year. So we all have our problems, our own personal problem, our own personal issues to deal with, and this club, you just don't want to add to it, right? You don't want any of Jerry and Zlatan's BS to really add on to the problems that you have in real life, which are real problems that you have to deal with. So this club, maybe is in rightful place, takes very much a back seat to where things are in people's lives. It's the same for me as well. As that maybe before I used to be very dedicated to watch up, stay up, watch the games, and to keep in mind that, especially for us in the East, is that you can expect the games at 2:45 a.m. You go to across different time zones. I think Indonesia they even have it even later, about 3:45 a.m. games. And Kim maybe has the latest, maybe has some 5 a.m., 6 a.m. games. But it's that juncture where you either wake up early or you stay up late. And if you're at around the 2 to 4 a.m., I think you're kind of caught in between. Yeah, you don't know which is which to do. I guess if you're having a good night, then maybe you'll stay up. But if you're having a bad night, then you wake up. That's one way to put it. So yeah, but before the dedication was very different. I would stay up. For me, my case, I would stay up to watch those games. Now it's just wait for the highlights, man. If it's worth anything, just wait for the highlights. If it's really, really worth something, wait for the extended highlights.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know the last game I checked on, because it flashed up in my notifications, it's like, oh, we're playing Inter.
Yeah.
And so what I did is I just checked the score after the game. I didn't even check the highlights.
But take me through that. Is that when the notification came up and sure that we played Inter, what was going through your mind? Would you think that you would check a score because you probably have some expectation in your mind that maybe I'm about to look at a loss right now?
So where I was in my mind is, because keep in mind that I was just in the situation where I've been tracking the Serie A table. So I was kind of seeing how the season was going overall, right? And this is another kind of key thing that's kind of crept into my mind. As I was checking the table, I didn't give a shit about how we were doing. I was more emotionally invested in Fiorentina staying up. Hey Raymond, nice for you to join us. Shout out Fadino, thanks for joining us, man. But I was more invested as I was checking the table because I'd already, to be honest, by February we were just, the way we'd kind of hit that slump, and I think it kind of started around, what was it, December, January time.
Yeah.
And then when we kind of didn't get in like a functional striker, I was like, oh, okay, we're done. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna, use my personal discretion here and not waste time on this. It's terrible, dude. And because the thing is next season it's going to be the same. I'll still join you guys for podcasts, right? But the thing is that I don't know if it's going to be great content or not, because I'm just at a situation where it's like I'm just going to be listening to what you guys are saying and not having a fucking clue about the background behind it. Because I'll stay active in the chat and I listen to what the guys are saying, as we always do. Ping us, by the way, guys, on Instagram and X, Milanistas360. If you want to join the chat, we'll get you in. It's a WhatsApp chat. So it's just going to be a situation where I'm not going to fucking waste time next year watching the league. And I say that even if let's say something miraculous happens, which it won't. But let's say something miraculous happens, right? And we ended up getting, I don't know, we ended up somehow winning the Serie A next year, right? I still wouldn't tune in, because I'm at the point where I know that Redbird's response to us winning the Serie A would not be, let's invest in more players to try and push into the Champions League. Redbird's response would be, sell the best players for the highest value that we can and start again.
Yeah, that's true. But you know what's interesting about that, Shane, is that the fact that maybe you're not following as closely now, is that in your mind, your memories are closer to how things once were.
It died after, Hosni, it's been dead since Maldini's gone.
Okay.
Maybe because we know, the thing is, we've never hidden our emotions here, right? When it comes to Maldini and everything else.
Yeah.
But literally, it's been dead. Like it's a fucking corpse. Like it's just been slowly strangled to death by Redbird and this ridiculous Moneyball bullshit. It's a corpse now. There's nothing in the club that I grew up watching. That's why I stopped.
You're
watching.
right. Yeah. We were essentially playing tag with the zombie figure, which is what the club is. Well, as you mentioned, it's a corpse, it's dead. The one thing that I did very recently is that I did tune into some of the other opinions, and there are many on YouTube now. Fans, commentators, whatever you call them, that I really share.
Hosni,
yeah.
I won't name drop here.
Okay.
Because I don't want to give this person credence.
Yeah.
I give respect to anyone that makes Milan content on YouTube, even if I disagree with their points of view sometimes. Shout out though to Rossoneri TV. Shout out to MLM Podcast as well. Even though sometimes we may have disagreements with some of the ways that they, have their opinions on things, but there's still it's content that I would watch, right? If I give a shit about the club, but I don't. So that being said, I think what's really stuck in my mind is that there's a specific Milan channel out there, and the guy supports Milan and Juventus. I think that's kind of all you really need to know about the state of the Italian league and the state of the people that are kind of, advertising this club online now. It's dead for me. There's no passion. There's no passion anymore. Some of the biggest content creators have been hired by Milan on some sort of DEI hiring process. Kudos to them. But at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that, their opinions on things are actually correct. If in fact, it's just kind of more a situation where some of the takes that I find coming from that one individual are complete trumped up bullshit, because that it's coming directly from Redbird themselves. I don't dismiss anyone making money, everyone needs to survive, including this individual. But at the end of the day, it's fucking tragic, and I'm just so sorry I live in a world where there's people that are retarded enough to believe the bullshit.
Yeah, well, yeah, as we've all known that for those who are still making the content, the motivations are very different. For us, try to keep it real, speak about what we think, how we feel. For others, they've really, yeah, I guess kudos to them. They've turned it somewhat into their livelihood, yeah. So they've really made their money, already found bread really with how they can be as close to the club as possible. And you know, I want to put that
Yeah,
into
and
my
like,
air quotes there.
but just to be 100%, like, just to be fully transparent on that, you know, I would never dismiss someone earning money, and if they're doing what they love to do, kudos to them. I just think it's, you know, if you're hired directly from the club these days, you know that you're going to have to toe a party line. And the party line is that, oh, well, we're just trying things and eventually something will work out, guys. And, you know, we're still in the black, and, you know, we're doing great, guys. You know,
Yeah, well, in the chat, yeah, I guess you guys are a lot closer to the action, whatever action is left about this saga, really about the next. Still the same shit, but different shape of it, of developments that Red Bull is pushing.
oh, but Hosni, this is another thing. So I have kept abreast of the news about Allegri going, and obviously Tare and all of this, and Ibrahimovic staying. Shout out, thanks a million for Hadinho. Like and subscribe, guys. We appreciate it very much. So, Petersburg, shout out. Rumor said Ragnick joining with full control could be a nightmare. So I've always and one thing I've kind of noticed is that since I've kind of stepped back, right, I know that the Milan fan base, just like any other fan base, can be very fickle, and it can have a short-term memory sometimes. As soon as I heard about Allegri going, well, I can understand fully why people didn't like some aspects of Allegri ball, especially when you don't have a striker, right? What the fuck are you going to achieve with it? Let's be honest. But I know a lot of guys weren't too hot on these tactics and stuff like that. As soon as I heard about Allegri going, though, the first thought in my head is, oh my God. Because the state of the manager, like any manager that is stupid enough to take over this club, will not be one of high quality. And they would, like, we're not going to get, you know, someone on the level of an Allegri in terms of things that they've won. We're going to get someone, I think Ragnick would be perfect because, you know, really not super serious. It's something that they tried at Man United, didn't really work there. You know, if it didn't work at Man United with like essentially huge amounts of funds, right? How the fuck is it going to work in Serie A? But then again, it's not meant to work though, hasn't he? And this, sorry, dude, just one last thing. None of this is meant to be gearing us for any form of success on the pitch. Redbird don't care, and this is why I've stopped watching. This is just to placate people, to show them like a carrot and a stick, and it's like, oh, we're trying to change things again. And it's like, yes, but the thing is nothing that they will do will work. I guarantee you this: if we have Redbird for another 10 years, Inter will have a fucking third star in their jersey, and we will have fuck all.
Yeah, I also want to, since we're speaking about Allegri, I want to share my thoughts about him. Is that when he joined, I was a bit surprised. I'm not going to hide that. I was a bit surprised because he's a manager who's wanting, so he probably has that feeling. He knows what it's like really to play at the top level. So for him to join a club that was in 8th place, not really fighting for anything, just only trying to get in the top 4, was a bit of a shocker, and I would think that as part of that package, he was allowed a good amount of freedoms. Yeah, when I say freedoms, I mean that he had a little bit more decision-making power than the other coaches before him. And when I say the others, meaning that it was only Fonseca and Conceição, which wasn't really a great sample. Because before that we did have several discussions really about what needed to change. We spoke about the defense, something that I had thought was fixed in his time and in the first half of the season. Well, hello, it wasn't. But I do want to credit the man for one thing, is that after he got the sack, and the reason, as you mentioned, Shane, the reason why he got the sack was quite clear. Yeah, he had one objective, he didn't meet it, fine, and he's shown the door. But I do want to credit the man that, yeah, he found another job and he took the job right away rather than just riding on the salary. Yeah, because I think it wasn't just a 1-year deal. It must have been like a multi-year deal for someone of Allegri status. So yeah, I thank Allegri for what he's done. I don't hold it against him. He's still a coach that won us a Scudetto many years ago now. Yeah.
But hasn't he? The thing
Yeah.
is you can't really, and I know I don't want to come across as that I'm like some sort of Allegri fanboy, right? But let's just be honest here, right? If you're playing a full season as a team that's supposed to be competitive in any one of the top 5 leagues in Europe, and you don't have a striker,
Yeah.
like, you know, and then rushing out to get a guy from West Ham, like I like Allegri or anyone else. No one else is a miracle worker here. I like, and the worst thing is I so badly want. I'm at the point where I want everything in the club to burn down. Metaphorically speaking, of course, right? I want everything to burn down. I want Ragnick to come in, right? I want him to try and implement some sort of fucking Red Bull, what was it, Salzburg or whatever, Leipzig or whatever the fuck one he was at, right? And I want it all to collapse horrifically, right? And you know, the best situation for me would be that we get relegated. So if we get relegated, I would be hopeful that Redbird would sell us to someone, and someone would buy us at a bargain, and would go, okay, I can bring these back up to Serie A, and I can get them in the Champions League in 3 or 4 years. I might have
the Berlusconi cycle when he took over. Yeah, we were pretty much in the dumps then. Yeah,
that's it. And I'm not saying, I do know now that we, you know, even if we did get like a new Berlusconi, right? I'm not stupid enough to think that financial fair play isn't a thing. But I'm also super aware that financial fair play is also a thing for Como. And they seem to be doing just fine. So
what stings me about the Como is that the fact that they could make top 4, and a lot of people will point to them and say that's how you do it. That really goes against a lot of things that we once had hoped for the club, is that we would build the Italian core. We will go back to how things were. But yeah, I guess the proof is in the pudding. If Como can say that this is our method, this is how we did it, we got top 4, you didn't. Everyone now has to follow us. So unfortunately, that's really how it's going to play out. Not just for us, by the way, it's for the entire league. Every other club is going to start pointing at the Como model. You don't need Italians. you got to play a certain way, and yeah, essentially the whole league will be turned into feeder for every other club outside of Italy.
I think, that's also a sad fact. But I think it's kind of a symptom of where Italian football is overall, right? It is what it is. It's no longer the animal that it was back in the 90s. They say it's far from that. It's dead and gone, and it needs. To be honest, I'm not against. If we had 19 other Comos in this area for a few years, I would not be against it, because you would have a competitive league, and you know, you can build from that, and that includes, you know, promoting more Italian, youngsters, and just getting a bit of, I don't know, common sense, and, you know, like decent players back in the Italian game that are Italians. But yeah. But the thing is, though, Fadinho, Ragnick will only be available after the World Cup as he's coaching Austria now. The best candidate who's available now is Albertini. He chose Albertini as he has to give him full control.
Fadinho, I have to disagree
like
with you. Actually, the best
Albertini.
candidate we have now is Pioli.
Yeah, no, this is the thing. I don't like Albertini because Albertini might be functional and he might try and, he might kind of flatter to deceive and keep us in the Champions League for a couple of years while we struggle getting fourth place, but we somehow manage it. I don't want that. I want everything to burn down again, metaphorically. I want us to get relegated. If we get relegated and we get transferred to an owner that wants to do something with us, that's the best situation for me. And it needs to happen quickly. Everyone knows what we have with Redbird, right? They don't give a shit about anything to do with the club, right? All they see is a stadium project. They need to get the stadium project built, and then they need to sell us, right? Everyone knows that this is what's happening. But this is fucking painful. I can't watch it anymore.
Yeah, but credit to those who are still in the game. Gunardi, Fadinho in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, this is an open question to you guys, right? And comment in the video if you're watching it afterwards, right? Kudos to everyone that's still watching the club, but why do you watch it? Because it's more just an open question for me, right? Because I'm trying to understand this. Like, where's the interest coming from?
I think I can answer that for my end. I think the interest really is that we're stickler for punishment. We just can't get enough of it. But I do want to dwell on one point here is that there's a lot of discussion about the structure, yeah. Albertini, Ragnick, then after which I think it'll turn to the coach and all that. But what a lot of people, and I think those in the chat as well, they really are tuned into is that the grander structure, the above, the ownership remains the same. The stooge of the ownership, Zlatan, remains there. So I'm of the opinion that whatever changes that are going to happen is really going to be very cosmetic. I don't know.
This is it, Hosni. This is because the thing is Cardinale has literally no one left to blame now. Only himself. Like, one of the main reasons that Ibrahimovic is being kept on is because he'll be the scapegoat next year. As ineffectual and as useless as he is, right? No, I guarantee you this, dude, right? He's being kept there just for that reason, because he will be scapegoated next year. And I know he's bad at his job. But the thing is that Cardinale does not want to take any responsibility for anything that's happening at the club. So therefore, if he has someone that's sitting there that's going to take the heat, instead of people actually understanding what the real problem is, and the real problem is the thesis that Redbird are working under. That's it. It's not who's in charge. It's not, it's the direction that's coming from Redbird. That's where the flaw in the logic is. It doesn't matter if Ibra is there. It doesn't matter if Ibra was fucking sacked. It doesn't matter if Forlani was shit. We all know that, right? But the thing is, guys, there's no fucking way that this is going to be successful. Dude, I mean, can we just go back to the baseball thing again, Hosni, right? And this Moneyball, right? I have too much ADHD to ever watch a game of baseball. However, right, from my understanding about Billy Beans and Moneyball, right, was that team never won anything. They just got a bit famous, but then they kind of, ended up, mid-table, if table is the situation. Right? So it's like if it hasn't worked in baseball, what are the odds that this is going to work in a completely different sport? Come on, guys.
Okay, well, we have a request here from one of our loyal followers, Fardino. By the way, Fardino, if you want to join us, just click on the link and we'll join us in
Sure.
live. But I'll read it out, yeah?
Mm.
From Fardino, the great Fardino. And he goes, I've written previously on multiple occasions that the biggest mistakes Jerry Cardinale had made was to fire Maldini and Massara, then choosing Furlani as CEO. Furlani, being inexperienced, unqualified, and incompetent in the role, caused major damages to the sporting sector, hence the administrative and operational side of the business. Yet, to think that Cardinale has learned from his mistakes is an understatement. Cardinale continues to double down on his executive mistakes in firing all the management handling the administration and operations from CEO, I think sporting director, DS, and technical director, and the coach without having a replacement prior to the sacking. The latest executive mistake by Cardinale is to empower Ibra to select the new management and are going to be in handling the sporting sector. Being a previous footballer doesn't give you the credentials to select the new sporting management. Ibra has no experience in being an executive in the management or a background knowledge in sport business, etc. It's like asking a student, perhaps a sophomore, to hire who to hire as the dean of admissions and the professors to have a successful graduate student for the future. Looking back at what Ibra has done is hiring his friend Kirovsky as an uncertified sporting director whom completely has destroyed the youth project and gives us a good reminder. Ibra has also leaked private information to players working against the coach that affected the squad's performance. So the question for Cardinale is, why do you trust Ibra in an important role as he is part of the problem? If you allow every investor in Redbird top poke his nose in the business of the club, nothing good will come out of it. All right. So
Sriracha
thanks to that,
ketchup,
Fardino.
brilliant. Ibra is
Yeah,
an expert on having a big nose, and that's it. Ah, yeah,
yeah.
he's all right. He's just he's another sociopath that's in charge of the club. The only difference is this sociopath isn't like 5 foot tall. He's gone now, so now it's just a slightly taller sociopath that has nothing but his own selfish intentions at heart, really.
The way that I see it is that the reason why Cardinale puts so much faith in Ibra is that he sees him as the ultimate fall guy.
Yeah,
Ibra can keep hiring as many people to blame below him, but if
yep.
all those really turn out to be like complete disaster, which it has, Ibra's will be the last in the pecking order. Cardinal is never going to admit to anything. He's going to say, okay, he's just an investor. He's just the owner. He doesn't know what a football looks like. So
That's it.
that's not really what he does.
This
And
is it. This is
yeah,
it.
that's
This is
really
it.
costing us in terms of where we are, sporting wise. But he doesn't care. I really would like to know what the economics are going to be like for this season, especially when you look at the books when it's going to be published. I don't think we'll be posting a profit, right? What are your thoughts about that, Shane?
I don't. I hope not. I hope not, because again, I want to see it all come crashing down now. So to be honest, I'm okay with the sale of Leao. I've heard that that's probably looking at a thing. I think Leao wants to jump ship. Sell Leao, sell Pulisic, get in these unproven players. I hope they bomb. I hope we end up next season probably mid-table. We'll rebuild again from that. We'll fail again. We could end up as the West Ham of the Serie A in 2 or 3 years. Next thing we get relegated. I think hopefully at that point Redbird will realise that their thesis hasn't worked. Moneyball isn't a thing, and they're just going to sell us. Sell us to someone with serious cash. Hopefully someone with Como, cash, right? That can essentially pump it into the club. That's basically what I'm hoping for. I'll never watch a game again while Redbird is in charge.
As you say that, Shane, it's like I have a tab open in my browser. Is that there's a game in Jakarta. Gunadi, I'm wondering, you still learn in the chat if you're going to the game in Jakarta that's taking place on the 8th, 8th of August. So I need to give a little bit of money to Redbird, I guess.
I know you'll fucking buy merch as well. I know you will, Hosni. I know you'll buy it, dude.
I'll buy
Let's talk
fake
Milan.
merch.
Let's talk Milan. Shout out. Ibra shares in Redbirds. Probably why he's the only one standing. Possibly correct. Echoed by Petersburg, 78. Sadly, Ibra invested around 40 million, which made him unsackable. Christ. Yeah.
Yeah, but if
It's
he's
not good.
but that
None of
doesn't
this
make
is
him
good.
in control, right? I'm sure there's other investors in Redbird as well.
Oh no, I'm not going to repeat that because that will land me in trouble. Like that, Milan. I get the sentiments and I agree with it, but I can't repeat it. Anyway,
But okay. Other than this club, you spoke about Fiorentina earlier, and I do want to spend a little bit of time to speak about the other storylines in the league that were much more interesting than ours. Fiorentina was an interesting story. I think you caught a bit of what was going on with them. Is that they started the season with a lot of promise, by the way, because of what
they
happened last
started the season with Pioli, didn't they?
Yeah, that was the lot of promise I was going for. Is that maybe Pioli could work his magic again, and he was a former coach of Fiorentina. It's not his first rodeo with them. But he had much better players than what he had last time that he had around. Okay, I guess they had Vlahovic. I think Vlahovic was still there or just started when he was coach, if I'm mistaken. But
So-
what he did to that team, Shane, I think you know how bad it got. What were your thoughts about Fiorentina?
He's missing his Krunic, man. If he had his Krunic or somewhat of a similar kind of player, they'd be in the Champions League positions instead of Roma now.
Yeah.
No. So I was thinking about this, right? And this is how you know that Redbird have completely and utterly failed. I think in about maybe give it another season, give it another 2 seasons, right? I think we'll essentially get to the point where they will not be able to find any manager that will want to join the club. They'll go for Pioli, and Pioli will come back, and some fans will be happy about it.
Yeah, I said
Because
this somewhere
they'll
else saying that if you miss Pioli, that shows how bad things really are, considering where he left us.
No, well, the thing is keep in mind, and these are the vibes that I'm getting. So an awful lot of people that were delighted that Allegri's gone now. Be careful what you wish for, and you'll see that next season. I'm not saying Allegri's the best in the world, but I'm saying we will not get a manager of that quality this time. We just won't.
Yeah. What is some of the storylines that maybe you were keeping up with? The other interesting one actually had to do with Roma. Roma with Gasperini, a bit of drama with Ranieri and all that. But yeah, they stuck to their guns. They stuck with Gasperini, and yeah, he got them through. That's the only way to put it. Yeah, he got them through. So that's a gamble that paid off.
Yeah, I mean, we do have some people that have a boner for Roma in our friendship group. I'm not going to mention who it is, John. But but the thing, look, it's good for Roma. I think it's I like to see someone trying something and putting effort in, and then that showing results. And I think that's essentially what Roma have done. I had this Mr. project, right? But to be honest, they seem to be building something there. You see, the annoying thing is that I think if we had serious ownership and serious ownership had decided to get us 2 proven strikers at the start of this season, we could be talking about a completely different situation in this league. It's so unfortunate. It's by design, because proven strikers will cost money, which we don't seem to have a lot of. And if we do, we spend it on these players that are just completely unproven for the most part. Let's talk Milan, right? If do you think Leao came out with that statement? So the statement being that he wants a new challenge, as he was told to go prior. What do you think, Hosni?
I have mixed emotions about that. So I can recall the days where there's a lot of talk online, people saying, let's build a team around Liao. We have to protect Liao at all costs. Then came Liao's renewal saga, and it looked like he wouldn't sign the extension, and pretty much it was tough then. Yeah, Mr. M got that over the line, so he managed to extend Liao with all that wage cap and all that BS and all that surrounding the deal. We saw it in the performances. This is a welcome news for fans who wanted him out because they think that he should be at that Scudetto winning season level performance consistently throughout, and he wasn't.
He's not a serious player, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's.
Let's be honest. Like, look at fucking Karachi or whatever his name is over at PSG, and that's because of hard work. Because he's a serious player, right? Now look at Leao at Milan, who's gotten just worse and worse and worse since the Scudetto season. You know, the difference in personalities. I mean, to be honest, probably because, again, going back to my thing of I just want the club to just fall into the abyss right now. I think I'd love them to sell Leao, get some money on him, invest it into other players who won't work out, just to hasten our destruction. Because
but when can you get out Liao at this stage?
Well, apparently, so the bit that I've seen on it is that they're now happy to accept a bid of 40 million.
Yeah.
So
let's put that into context. So 40 million is not too far off from Nkunku money. You could say Liao's undervalued, or we actually got scammed by the Nkunku deal, or both. You can even put a third option there and say both. We overpay for absolute piss poor players, and we are essentially underpaid for players that should have a much higher value. I remember back in the days when, after winning Scudetto season and trying to get that renewal over the line, a lot of talk. Leao has a release clause, about 160 million, about there, yeah, an insane amount of release clause, and everyone was saying at least if you don't want to pay the release clause, he's worth 90, 100 million. Look at the state now.
And he used
what
to
are we
be.
looking at?
He did used to be. Yeah, and he did used to be worth it.
Yeah.
He
did.
Yeah.
And the depreciation in a short amount of time, this is what we're looking at, 40 million. 40 million in this current market is not going to get you anything, by the way. I think with the compensation for all the executives that Cardinale or Ibra had to fire, it's more than half of that. So
it's covering that, yeah.
Yeah. What is the net amount that you're going to get? And we have a lot of deadwood coming back. Recent news, Musa coming back. So many players coming back, by the way.
That's perfect. Because that's another thing that I'd love to see now. So Modric is obviously gone, right? And we can slot in Musa into his place.
Yeah,
that's great. That's what I want to see. I want Rabiot to go. I want Maignan to go. I want all of them to go. Not because some of them are great quality players, but the quicker that we can try and rotate these into very bang average players that hopefully have a very bad season next year and we get relegated, that's great for me.
Yeah, but that's really the future that we're looking at. I can't think of any player that has a very high resale value. Mike, maybe, yeah.
But even so, he's knocking on a bit now, isn't he? Right? Is he 31 this year? 32?
Yeah.
I know it's not like old for a keeper, but he's not. I'd say probably Pulisic.
Yeah, Pulisic. But Pulisic, I think, is up for renewal. So someone will say that why would I want to pay a lot of money for a guy who's about to run down his contract?
True.
This is something I can't believe I'm seeing. I thought Bennett said we're done with this deal, but if he's coming back,
But he's
Might as
not
well
going to
bring
want to stay.
the whole gang back together.
But he's not going to want to stay. I mean, especially the way that he left. Like he
Yeah.
basically left saying "fuck you." So he can come back, but he's probably not even going to unpack his bags. He might as well just stay in a hotel in Milan for 2 weeks while they sell him to someone else.
Well, the way things are going, they might not really have a choice, saying that someone didn't know what to do with him. Just put him on squad list.
Fuck, Chris
Chris
Pasmino,
Pasmino.
Forza Soccer, correct. It's a fair point by Sriracha Ketchup, which I fucking love that username so much. In our current environment, even Kavicha would fail. This is correct. Because the thing is it's just not a serious project. Like everyone knows, like if they know they're not on the highest wages in the league, and they know that there's no earthly way that they're going to get those wages. And I think what that does to you is, because if you think about a guy's personal bias, right? If I'm mine, yeah, and I know that on my day I'm one of the best goalies in the world, right? On my day, yeah, like, and I know that I'm never going to get paid as anywhere near like what I should be getting paid based on my quality. Am I going to take this seriously? The answer is no.
Yeah.
So, essentially, the only way that this project could actually work is if you get in a load of like generational 19, 20, 21, 22 year olds, right? That are somehow okay with just earning an acceptable wage for their like age range, that somehow they might explode, you know. But yeah, and the odds of finding these generational players, I mean, there's too many other big clubs that are looking for the same thing now, and they have far more pulling power than a fucking club that's in the UCL and it's destined for mid-table next year. So
Well, a potential generational player, I think it's really thinking his future. That's Kamada, right? That experiment has really set the kid up for failure. And after the injury, I can't think of a reason why he would want to stay. They're definitely not going to offer him top money. They're definitely not going to play him. So, what would a kid like that do? He's going to leave, I think.
So, Chris Pasmino, are Milan really thinking of paying 8 million per year for Pulisic? I'd say they might. You know why? You think about it. All the jersey sales in the US.
Yeah, especially the World Cup. Yeah.
I'd say that's more realistic than Leo staying. Because if you think about it, right, like Redbirds, part of what they're trying to do is kind of try and get Milan to somehow explode in the US. I think probably they're half hoping that a lot of our friends over in the US don't understand the difference between the Europa League and the Champions League. So when they see us in the Europa League, they're thinking, "Oh, Europa. Oh, that's in Europe. I know Europe, right? That must be a
They're in
huge
the league.
trophy." There you go. They're in the league, right? They're in the Europa Champions League, right? And next thing, then they're rocking up to fucking a half-empty stadium in fucking Liechtenstein or somewhere. Is that still a country these days?
I don't know if they even have a team, but I think one of the remote places like what Karabakh or Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan. There's
That's
some
it.
real
And
places
you
they
know
have
that
traveled
like outside the stadium, there's like some guy herding fucking goats.
to.
You know what I mean? It's like that's the level of where we're at now.
That
You
guy herding
guys,
goats is gonna be the next signing.
yep. True. Your guys' opinion for this season? What's Milan's best player for the season? I don't know. I haven't watched. What about you, Husney?
Best player. I'm not gonna give it to Mike. I just think it would be so much worse if it wasn't for him.
Crazy.
And that's saying a lot, because if your keeper is the worst player, there's about 10 other guys on the pitch that you really going to have to question.
Shout out, kind comment, Fadinho. Shout out to Lab Gorilla. Love you, mate. Come back to us. Resolve your issues quickly. We miss you. It's encouraged for you to come back. Fucking bananas. That's it. I've also picked him up because Lab is the same as the rest of us. To be honest, there's so much more that he's got going on. But in terms of the Serie A, he's kind of swiped right on Roma. So I picked him up this like nifty Roma Malaga hoodie, which is actually quite dapper. Because I ended up unwittingly, drunkenly going into the Roma supporters bar in Malaga on Friday, which was nice. All right, shout out.
Yeah, here's Gunardi saying, because the fact Milan's not priority for Cardinale as it's focused on other projects, NBA in Europe, San Donato for new ATP venue, new stadium, but those projects have failed. Yeah, they have failed, and you have to keep in mind that the biggest club in Cardinale's portfolio is AC Milan. So he's great at devaluing stuff. Yeah, no problem. Maybe it's part of some greater 4D chess that they Investcorp will let Cardinale to get on board so they could really come in and get a good deal at the end of the
But this is the thing. But doesn't he have like? So he's after getting into Formula One now as well.
I wouldn't be surprised, but Formula One is a much more expensive sport than CRR, by the way. So
That's it.
if you would be a minor shareholder in any of the teams, you'd be like the minor of minor. It might be closer to being a fan paying a grandstand ticket than an actual owner.
That's it. Was so Christian Pasmino, wasn't he? Was Gabby our best defender?
Yeah, that's not saying much, by the way.
Yeah, but I don't know because I'm reading reports that people are coming in paying money for Pavlovic. What timeline have I ended up in? Has he become like a good player?
Yeah, I mean they need a new striker, right? So why not Pavlovic? He surely
right.
can do anything but defend.
Okay, interesting. All right, should we bring back?
And I like this fact. I gotta check this out. Macias had more goals than all our strikers put together. That's good.
Messias was 100% functional. Messias, whatever he was, right, scored in the Champions League. Messias
For
wasn't
Genoa,
flashy.
3 goals, 1 assist.
Yeah, Messias wasn't flashy, but I tell you, for what he was, I can't fault the guy.
Yeah,
Should
I
we
still
bring
remember
back
that goal
Origi?
against Atletico, right?
True.
That header.
True. Should we bring back Origi? Is it? I can't even remember. Didn't they cancel his contract in January?
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
they?
Yeah, they cancelled it. Yeah.
So he's gone now.
I wonder if he's actually playing somewhere else. Let me check that.
Probably not. I'd say that's the. So usually when a guy's mentally checked out to the point where they're literally just touring around Italy, right? They're no longer focused on their career anymore. He's basically just like pocketing that money, and he's probably just going to go, fuck it, I'm just going to retire soon anyway. So.
And it's not that, yeah. I guess for some players, and maybe I might be accused of being the same, is that once you've kind of made it, so you've won the Champions League and all that, and you're still young, it's like, don't you like when you live like your young life? Kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah. I mean, put it this way: if I'm not doing anything in my job that I'm still getting salary for, might as well just spend as long as I can in Italy and get, Redbird are going to pay for my fucking holiday. That's what I'm going to do. Buongiorno, filios. Sorry, probably I don't speak Italian. I might have butchered that. Come va? And that's Nathan. Nice to see you, dude. I hope you're well. Hope your kiddo's well as well. Congratulations to you as well, Nathan. I know this probably was it last month, but good news. Delighted for you, bud. Cardinale is doing a good job in developing Milan. Oh, okay. Milan were cheaper for someone else to buy the club. So great job. Jerry can't wait for next owners. That's true.
This is an interesting one. What do you guys think of Santi Jimenez?
I can only give my opinion up to February. My opinion of Santi is I literally hope that he goes somewhere else and completely balls out to be a generational player. I don't think it'll happen, but I would love to see that it would happen.
when he came with a lot of promise, and he was on the back of quite impressive stats at
Yep.
Feyenoord.
Yeah.
But afterwards, the Milan medical did its work, the Milan environment did its work. It's and we paid quite a bit of money. I think we paid over 30 million for him because we got him in January. It's absolutely puzzling to try and think what happened with this guy. So much promise. He's going to be the striker, and that's very much something when we identify a target who's going to be our ready to go striker. But it just didn't work out. So yeah, there was one stat that I don't know who put it there. It's like Pavlovic scored more goals than our top front three or something like that.
Yeah.
Combined.
Mm.
It's absolutely sad about what's happening to players, or it's human beings of talent.
Well, the thing is like at some point in your head, right? We've all been through. I'd suggest we know our age range of the people that watch us at this point, right? So they're kind of our age. So I'm 21, Husney's 40. No, joke, right? Well, so we know kind of our age range. So I'm assuming that nearly everyone in the chat is kind of we've all worked in a place where we just know it's not serious. It's not a serious job. We know we're not going to be there for very long. So what do? You do a half-arse job because you just know it's not serious. It is what it
you
is,
take a
right?
lot of
It's
sick
human
leave,
nature.
Or you
Yeah,
pretend to be
like
sick all the
basically,
time.
just take the piss. Come in a couple of minutes late if you're allowed to. Fucking, stay a bit extra longer at lunch, right? Whatever, human beings are built like that because we're quite cognizant of if a project is very serious and we're invested emotionally in that project, we will work to make it work. That's the way we usually work. But everyone, there's nothing serious about Milan. Like outside of the situation with all of these fucking
Hi,
very
Nathan.
average players signing.
Can you guys hear me?
Nothing serious.
Yeah,
man.
we can.
Do I actually sound good?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you're okay, but yeah.
No. Now I'm just making sure because whenever I'm with Rosenary TV, they always say I sound like I'm a demon or something. I was just double checking.
No, we paid top dollar for the stream. Don't worry, Nathan. You're in HD.
So how's the season been for you overall, Nathan? Surprising? Everything you expected?
So my original prediction was that we finished 7th, and then after we got favorable results against our direct rivals, I was like, okay, I don't think we're gonna win the season, but I expect us to make top 4. Like we were well ahead of everybody. And then they brought my original realization back to earth. And it's just so disappointing what happened. It's not surprising, but it's still disappointing. And it's infuriating the owners that we have. Like these guys are just embarrassment, and yeah, the whole thing is just stupid.
So Nathan, what's a very scary thing for me, and this is why I know we're not going to get a manager of any substantial quality. This is what I firmly believe, right? So what's very scary for me is imagine someone calling you saying, do you want to take the manager role at Milan, right? Knowing that you're going to have access to a very small transfer budget consistently, knowing as well that the last manager, if the reports are to be believed, that the last manager was basically ousted by Ibrahimovic, who's still at the club. So knowing those facts, like, would you agree as well that we're not going to get anyone serious? Because that's my feeling.
I think Nathan maybe has some connection issues. I'm looking at his yeah. Nathan, are you there? Nathan. Okay, Nathan. whenever you're in, just speak out. But yeah, if I can give my opinion on that, is that yeah, I short answer is yes. Nothing's really going to change. Again, the overall structure remains the same. They're going to fight for Lani, blame it all on him, Tare, and all that. But yeah, overall, the mess will always be there. It's like just having nice things thrown into the same dump, right?
Right.
That's all you can hope
This
for.
is
Just
it,
have nice
dude.
things thrown into the dump.
This is it. This is it. I think you see, because this is, like you can imagine, like being a manager at any type of big club, which we no longer are, but at any type of club with expectations, right? There's going to be, that's going to weigh heavy on you, right? But imagine the additional pressure of knowing that, like, fuck me, I don't even know what Ibra's official role title is, but knowing that Ibrahimovic basically, through the players, got the last manager fucking sacked.
Well, did you guys hear what Ibra said about the winning Scudetto team?
No.
He said he won the league with a bunch of average players.
Okay.
That's who we're dealing with. Like,
yeah, that's rich coming from him who played, I think, only a few games that season, right?
yeah, he played only a few games and he was out. Went on to do commercials and go on vacation and other bullshit.
So,
yeah, don't forget he had that singing performance. I think, what was it?
And he was in Asterix as well, wasn't he? He's in that movie.
So it's time for all that.
But the thing is he wasn't wrong. Like he had, I mean, look at Leao now,
Yeah, that is true.
right? And I mean, okay, fair enough. The midfield was like fucking infinitesimally better, right? But I didn't dare say you could kind of look at Benacer now, right? Look at Kessie now. Who did we have on right wing? We had Salamakers, who was good, but he wasn't great. And then we had Messias, right? So I mean, I can see where he's coming from, but the problem is when keep in mind that some of those players are still around. Like,
Right.
what a fucking retarded thing to say.
Right.
You know what I
That's what I
mean?
think as well too. It's like, why would you talk like Leal's still there, Salamakers is still there, like
Gabia, Mike.
Gabia.
Mike, yeah. This is the thing as well. It's like, if you want to put like someone as a figurehead at the club, right? I mean, the fans don't respect them. I dare say probably a lot of the other players that he's playing with don't really respect him, right? Because he's very like, he's just not a person that you would kind of get along with, right? So he's kind of at the point where he's just alienating himself. I mean, it's fucking crazy. Like even the lack of intelligence when it comes to like the hiring process behind every level at the club. Fucking diabolical, really.
Well, remember he did say he works for Redbird, not Milan. So,
oh no, that's great. That's great. Like and kudos to him. But like at the end of the day, Nathan, right? It's like, gee, surely. Would you not get someone in that like people will kind of gravitate to? Like even someone said like Albertini, right? I mean, at least you get some of the fucking fans back on side, some of the older ones, right?
I don't think Maldini's ever coming back, but
nah.
If these clowns ever had some sense come into their brains, I would go get someone like Baggio.
Fair.
Has Baggio ever? What's Baggio up to since the past few years?
I don't know. I just know he made that long ass dissertation about how to fix everything, and literally, he literally already has the groundwork laid out. Like that's who I would go get. Go get someone like I don't know if anyone cares too much about Ragnick, but the way he sets up his youth programs and stuff is top notch. So I wouldn't mind having him and Baggio work together and fixing our youth system.
I don't think Ragnick would want to see that much more control, and ultimately, at the minimum, what Ibra and Jerry are looking for is a yes man. You can be all that, but when push comes to shove, you got to be a yes man. This is what they need. If you ask me, I don't think Ragnick is coming based on what they say. Ragnick knows what he needs. He knows what he's out to get. He has a structure in mind. He's not going to be a yes man. I doubt that he's in his mind at all. He's going to be a yes man. That's why I
Well,
don't think
no,
that it's going
I'm
to work out.
saying this is what I personally would hope they would do. I know they're not going to. They're going to get a
Yeah.
yes man for sure.
Yeah, that's it. It's the only way. It's basically the only way, right? And then see, this is also the really fucking infuriating thing. That's kind of why I've just stopped watching, because you know the way there's no way they'll ever fix this. There's no way. There's no possible way that any of this can succeed.
No,
You know,
no, you're right. Like
it's
it's literally been downhill ever since you guys have come.
that's it. That's it. Like, and if you think about it, they inherited what was essentially a Serie A winning squad.
The Serie A winning and a Champions League semi-finalist.
Imagine that. And we've gone from that in 3 short years. We've gone to finishing eighth and finishing fifth.
Right?
Yeah, back to real Banta era with that absolute
I think this might be
360, right?
worse.
No,
I
it's
think
way
this
worse.
might be worse than
It's
the
way worse.
previous one.
Way worse. Because at least during the banter era, we weren't being bullshitted and lied to.
Right.
See, because everyone fucking knew that Berlusconi was broke at that point. Or I wouldn't say he was broke, but that he wasn't pumping money into Milan, right? So everyone knew, and everyone knew he was trying to sell it, right? So at least we weren't being fucking lied to. But like at the end of the day, it's like everything Redbird are doing, and they're trying to basically coax some sort of sympathy out of any of the fans, or they're trying to get in fucking Modric's on freeze, and then hoping that that generates some interest in people buying the jerseys. Literally everything they do it's nothing to do with the sporting success. It's just to do with generating money, and it's like, how many fucking off-white collabs do we need? How many 4 jerseys do we need? Like fucking terrible.
That shit.
Yeah, how many Asian tours they're gonna need? What do we have lined up? Australia, we got Jakarta.
Can they fucking play in Asia? I mean, for good, right? Because hopefully, if it's a situation where if they can generate enough interest, right, they might want to start playing the games over there then. Because I mean, there's no fucking point in them hanging around in fucking Italy anymore.
Yeah. That's why they could charge. I mean, I looked at the tickets. Some of the cheapest tickets are about, if I was to convert it, yeah, maybe about 50, 60 euros. I think that's a lot more expensive than selling a San Siro. So, and expecting a packed crowd, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Still not worth it. No one should
Yeah.
go. Still not worth it. Who are you going to see rocking up? Fucking.
But they're playing Chelsea, so that might be interesting for me to see.
But okay. All right, but even so,
You
Chelsea
guys
are
talk about
kind
friendlies.
yeah.
So Nathan, you're in the States. How are the World Cup preparations coming along?
Well, I mean they're coming. I mentioned before a while ago that anyone who is coming from outside of the United States, you need to bring at least an extra 5-10 grand straight coming over here, because everything is going to be stupid expensive. So whatever y'all might have thought the last World Cup is, multiply it by like 1,000. The cheapest ticket that I can get here right now is like $1,000.
Oof.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, no. For anyone who thought this was gonna be like how it was in Qatar, where you can get like a a ticket for like 150, $200. No, no, that's not how things are going to work here. Transportation is going to be out of this world. We've had um, train stations that normally would transport people for around $15 are they were price gouging and they were trying to get it up to $150.
Ah,
So from
10x. Are you
50 from
serious?
yeah, so I think I can't remember what state it was, but they were able to get it down to 100. But even then, that's ridiculous. $15 to $100 is ridiculous. So
Yeah,
whoever comes over here, you guys better take out a second mortgage because you're gonna be broke,
that's it.
and you better not get fucking injured because
Has
if
Teo
you
been called
do,
up for has Teo been called up for France?
I
I
would
think yes.
imagine he would.
I'm just saying that in relation to Chris Pasmino's comment, which I can't read out.
Yeah, I think Jerry's making investment in that space, right?
There we go.
After seeing the
Might as
returns
well.
in Italy.
The oldest and
You guys
best
see,
profession.
Liao is leaving.
Yeah. Not surprising. What are your thoughts about that?
I mean, I already had strong opinions about Liao, so I don't really care that he's leaving. Um, it's just that we're not going to get anyone better, probably. That's my only problem.
True. We'll get some cripple from like League Two that no one's ever heard
Right.
of, and none of this is going to work out, is he? We're literally we're kind of being beta in everything we do. You know what I mean? There's nothing is working well in terms of scouting, in terms of people in charge. There's no coherency or clarity. It's all just to try and smoke and mirrors until the stadium is built, and this is kind of why I'm checked out. Because it's
And
like it is what it is, right?
right. And we're really screwed this year because this is a
Oh
World
yeah,
Cup year. So
yep.
any potentially good player that we might want, if they even have a semi-decent World Cup, we're automatically getting
Inflated
priced
to
out.
fuck. Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
we're really screwed. And we fired all the staff, so we don't even have a scouting department at the moment. But yeah,
Fair
we're
point.
screwed big time.
Fair point.
But
I didn't
Nathan,
think about that.
we never had a scouting department. It was
I
for
mean, we
Lani's
had
Chat
Mike,
GPT subscription. It was running the
but we
entire.
don't even have that anymore. We don't have Chat GPT or the French connection Mancada. So
Mm.
we have nothing. We literally have zero.
Yeah, but
I wonder
I think
though.
they're still hassling for Lani for his login, right? They still want to use up the last few months of his subscription for that transfer window.
I wonder. Does it mean that they're going to end up going for like young Italian players now instead of because if they're no longer going to be going with Mancada, right? Then the French connection is gone, right?
No, but these guys couldn't scout Italians when we had an actual like a scouting person here with us. We ain't getting
That's
no
true.
young Italians, bro. It just ain't what happened.
Mm.
And if I don't even know what type of profile coach we're trying to get because Irola is not coming to Milan anymore, and they wanted a Fabregas type coach. So we don't even know what type of coach we're getting.
Yeah, I'd say it's not going to be one of quality anyway. Let's put it that way. It's going to be someone very unproven, and the feeling that I have in it, based on historical evidence, is that God help us this time next year.
Yeah,
because
if we finish sixth or fifth or sixth this year, guys, prepare for it to be worse this upcoming year.
Dude, like I'm literally like I'm thinking no European places, not even the conference.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so either.
It's just when you see the track record, like in everything that they're doing to try and help the situation, and they're making it worse.
Yeah,
Like,
that's why I said I would like for them to just agree to Ragnick. Just agree to him and let him take over. At least he knows how to like restructure a team's foundation at the very least.
okay, fair. That's fair. I mean, it's kind of weird. It's like it's kind of, I admire Redbird for their consistency because they're kind of speed running Man United's demise. Because I mean, to kind of, you know what I mean? Because it's like at least United, they did it over a much slower period of time, but they're kind of following the same track. Really, it's impressive. Fuck it, I'm starving. I need to get something to eat.
Okay. Well, it's been good to catch up, and thanks, Nathan, for joining us in this, aptly titled farewell pod, because our beloved Milan,
Got it.
as Shane mentioned at the beginning, it's a corpse, but we still got to say goodbye to the corpse, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. We're Romanisti now anyway, so it's fine.
That's it. Yeah, I've gone to Fiorentina now. I've swiped right. Okay, gents. Nathan, thanks a million for jumping on. Thanks everyone in the chat as well.
Yeah.
So it's Sriracha Ketchup. Chris Fazmino, Fahadinho as always, Raymond, who else did we have?
Guinardi, yeah.
Obviously Nathan, who's in the chat as well, Guinardi, Petersburg, right? Who else did we get? Let's talk Milan, obviously. So Carmelo. That's everyone. Guys, look after yourselves. The world's a fucking shit place. But at least you have Milan to, tide you over with never-ending drama. So peace out. See you next time.
Forza Milan, everyone, and drop us a DM if you want
Forza
to
Milan.
join our WhatsApp group. Outlet, like and subscribe, and we'll see you whenever we have the mood to get talking again about this club.
Yeah, next year. Forza Soccer. Fuck.
Soccer.
Soccer. All right. Peace out. See you guys.
Che comunque il calcio è imprevedibile e le cose non sono mai scontate, quindi è anche la bellezza, no, di questo sport.